All right, everyone, this is our weekly update, catching up with the commission. Thanks for tuning in. We've had a busy week. I'll highlight a couple things that went on this week and then talk about what we've got coming up next week. So we had a lot of meetings and discussions about road issues this week. Of course, with the snow falling, our snowplow drivers have been busy and our road and bridge department has been busy. The commission office has also been flooded with emails and communications about elk conflict issues on 191 between Gallatin Gateway and Big Sky. So we've been trying to explain to people how that is a state highway and not ours, and we have no jurisdiction over signage, speed limits, or wildlife conflict resolution measures on a road that doesn't belong to us. That being said, we've been trying to be a liaison with MDT, and I think yesterday they installed some signs warning drivers. So if you're driving between Four Corners and Big Sky, please have your eyes open, slow down a little bit, and be on the watch out for elk crossing the road. There have been a lot of roadkill incidents over there over the last couple of weeks. We also heard a few weeks ago from some concerned Four Corners residents about the intersection at Love Lane and Baxter near the entrance to Black Bull subdivision. And we generally agree with those concerns, and so we had a good meeting this week with a lot of those concerned citizens, helping them understand that that is a priority for us. We just finished our capital improvements plan, and we would like to prioritize improving that intersection, and our plan calls for installing a roundabout there. Unfortunately, it's just a very expensive project, and so we're having to pursue federal grants in order to fit that into our short-term plans, but we are doing that. With the bipartisan infrastructure law that passed last year, there's more federal infrastructure grant money available than ever before, so we're trying to take advantage of that, and that infrastructure and a few other similar projects are our top priorities. At our public meeting on Tuesday, our most significant agenda item was a conditional use permit application for Warriors in Quiet Waters. They were seeking some clarification on what their use restrictions or lack thereof might be in terms of the number of veterans retreats that they can hold on that property in a given year, and there were some concerns from the neighbors that they were going to be using it at such a rate that it would be disruptive to their neighborhood. And they're also replacing a lot of their facilities on their property in order to expand their programming. It was a bit of a contentious meeting because there was a disagreement between Warriors in Quiet Waters staff and board and a lot of the neighbors, but hopefully we resolved it in somewhat of a satisfactory manner, and ultimately we gave the green light to Warriors to expand their programming and replace the facilities as they had proposed. Next week, on Monday, we have our elections canvass from this 2022 general election. We expect there to be a lot of public interest about that. And generally speaking, we appreciate the community coming together and our staff facilitating a relatively seamless election process. So much work goes into protecting and executing a free and fair election process, and I think our staff and volunteers here in Gallatin County did a great job this year. So certifying election results on Monday is kind of the last step in the process, and then we send those results to the Secretary of State. So be on the watch for that next Monday. Also on Monday, we have a mental health local advisory council workshop with our Gallatin County legislative delegation, those that won election on this fall. And the focus of that workshop is going to be certified community behavioral health clinic legislation, CCBHC. This is a new funding model that has been implemented in other states to support mental health services. And our state's Children and Families Interim Committee has pre-introduced legislation to implement that model here in Montana. So we're having kind of an educational workshop to educate the community, ourselves, as well as legislators who weren't on that interim committee about what that legislation entails. And then our public meeting next Tuesday will include multiple conservation easement proposals, which are always fun and exciting. An additional building for lease or rent development in the Powder Light development up in Big Sky. And then final plat for Creekside Meadows major subdivision. And finally, Thanksgiving is on Thursday. So we'll have a short week, as will hopefully all of you. And with that, from the Gallatin County Commission to you, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you, if not next week because of the short week, the week after. So thanks for tuning in.